Okay, we are about to watch the rematch of the Leo Santa Cruz Carl Frampton fight. That's the scores from fight one. And now we're watching Mr. Frampton come into the ring. And there's Leo Santa Cruz, and we're going to have some fun with this one. First fight was a great fight. Frampton takes the fight from Santa Cruz, takes the belt from Santa Cruz, and now we're going to see if Santa Cruz can get it back. So, gentlemen, have at it.
Well, I like Charles to talk about this because he's always talking about Leo Santa Cruz. So, Charles, you lead off here. Tell me about Santa Cruz, why he is so good.
Well, the thing about it is Leo Santa Cruz is pretty a solid technician, and knowing that he lost his first fight, he was really eager for the rematch, and he's the type of guy that learns from his mistakes. So early on, Frampton was able to, in the first fight, kind of feint and beat him to the punch, and now we're starting to see in this first round, Santa Cruz is more aggressive. He's aggressive. And it's almost like as if he was watching a tape or something that says, you know what, I got you, bang, right hand. So whatever he missed the first fight, he's like, I got you now because I see you and I'm going to make you earn this. Boom, boom. He's back in there covering up. He just seems like he's full of energy. And what he's trying to do is working early on in this first round.
And speaking of energy, though, Frampton is one of those guys that I don't think if you told him to sit still and I'll give you $1 million, he couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, Santa Cruz is the same way, Frank. I mean, he's like a punching machine. You know, it's weird how you notice he does this with his right hand. It's kind of funny how he does that. It's like a habit, I guess, or something. But Santa Cruz, I will always remember that years ago I was talking to Don Chargan, the legendary matchmaker at the Olympic, promoter, and I mean, the man saw everything and talked about things, and you just sit there going, gosh, this is incredible. He absolutely loved Leo Santa Cruz, like Charles. I mean, the same thing. He said, and he said the same thing that I noticed when I saw him, and I was really like, wow, you agree with me on that? He's kind of Santa Cruz was kind of a throwback to the Olympic days because he always comes to fight. He's always in shape. And then you have Frampton. He's a great opponent as far as that goes because you're talking about two pros here. You never see two guys have a really great fight and then, 7 months later they're fighting again. Not nowadays. Not nowadays you don't. This is like a throwback again. So that's what I really liked was that, man, they're back in the ring again, and you could see how close and how competitive, and the rounds were really hard to judge because they're both equally good. Santa Cruz is a little taller, got a hell of a jab, and Frampton likes to counter, so he's ducking low and trying to come in there. But, you know, these are two elite fighters. See, now they're going at it.
A little brawling. Okay, stay inside. Well, the thing that I love about after the first one's like, yeah, I'll fight him again. Yeah?
Yeah.
There doesn't have to be a rematch clause. He earned it. Okay. Frampton could have went someplace else. He's got the belt. He's got the belt. He doesn't need this fight because he can go bank on somebody else. Like, I already beat him once. I don't need it. This was, I think, agreed to before they even got out of the ring after the first fight. Neither one's afraid of each other, but they respect each other. This is really, I mean, folks, as I was cutting this up, I got a chance to view pieces of it. This is great. It's just, this is what we like about boxing.
Yes. Yes, because that word, again, that we overuse, it's Charles's fault, of course. They're both crafty. They're both crafty fighters. Because Leo, 19 knockouts, he's not, in his career, he's not a big puncher. And Frampton isn't either, but they have everything else going. They have footwork, they have technique, they have speed. They're elite. They're two of the best fighters in the world. So, yeah, if you really want to see boxing at its best, not two guys just slamming each other and going down, getting up. Now, that's fun, too, but if you really want to watch the technical side of boxing, why it's called the sweet science, you watch these two guys, and then they brawl every now and then, and you're like when Santa Cruz fought Abner Mares, brawled with him, and he does it with Frampton. He's not afraid to get in there and mix it up.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's how that goes. Plus, too, I think Santa Cruz was probably surprised that he got the rematch, and it's like, oh, you gonna fight me again? You gonna fight me again that quick? All right, I'll be ready this time. And that's what I loved about it, because Frampton clearly won fair and square. It was close, but I thought he had the edge.
Yeah.
Watching that first fight, but you could just see the giddiness of Santa Cruz. Like, you just don't know. I should have done this. I should have done that. And now that I had this opportunity, I also think too that in that first fight, which is different here, as we see in this second round, Santa Cruz is more aggressive. In the first fight, Frampton was more, I guess he was more that crafty word, and he was landing more shots, which kind of make you wonder, like, man, I better be careful because I want to get in trouble. But as we're seeing here in the second round, Santa Cruz is throwing caution to the wind. It's like, you know what? I need to get this. And the way I'm going to get this is to be more active. And I think that might have kind of caught Frampton a little bit off guard.
Well, here's how I know this is going to be assumed to be a great fight. Joe Cortez is sitting at ringside and watching the fighters, not watching the referee. He's like, yeah, He's like, this is he. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he didn't pay for that ticket. But how often do you see the referee sitting at ringside watching a fight he's not doing?
Yeah, that's true. And you notice we're not even seeing Kenny Bayless. He's just staying away because they're not clinching. They're fighting. They're doing what. There he is. That's the end of the round. He got in there.
That's it. Right.
This again. This is what it's about. You're not grabbing each other. Okay, that's effective sometimes. Sometimes you have to do it. But these are two little guys, and it happens with the little guys. They're there to fight, and they're there to win. And Charles made a good point that Santa Cruz really, really was motivated going into this. Obviously, Frampton was too. He's a competitive guy, super competitive guy. All boxers are. But Santa Cruz, he really wanted, and you could see he's a different guy in this fight. I remember when I was watching it, I was like, okay, Santa Cruz looks on point here. He's sharp. He's taller. He's using that jab. Frampton's not going anywhere. Frampton's going to stay there. The Jackal's going to stay there. But you could just see that Santa Cruz was the more prime guy in this fight. I don't know if it was the timing, because sometimes the sparring and the training, and they land just right on fight night, and it all comes together. But I think it was also very mental. I think he was like, okay, this guy, that was the first time I lost the fight. That's the only time I lost, Leo Santa Cruz. I'm going to get him the second time. And he's got more going in this fight than he had in the first one.
Mm-hmm. But the thing I like about Frampton is he's not going anywhere. He's not afraid to be inside. He's not afraid to I'm the champ. He's got to beat me. And he's just not throwing with enough volume, I think, for him to do what he has to do at this point. But, he's also, good body movement, good head movement. He's not getting hit with a lot of these shots either.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But like you said, though, in Frampton being the champion, and then even the first, I think he had that little extra oomph as champion. That, okay, I got Santa Cruz. He's trying to get me right. But as John mentioned earlier, in this second fight, Santa Cruz is like, no matter, I don't care who you are, you're the champion. I want to show you these boxing skills, and I'm going to put this on you because you have my title now. And he just had that fire. And like you said, it's not to take away from Frampton, who really is a top-notch fighter. But you can just tell Santa Cruz has that spirit. I don't know if it's from the heritage or whatever, but it's like, I'm not going to be denied, man. If you beat me, you're going to have to bring a lot more to the table because I'm coming directly at you. I'm not backing up. I'm just waiting. I'm very patient. And that crafty word. I'm gonna beat you at your own game this time, though. And I think that's what he's trying to do here as we're in round 3. Because he's on the ropes. Yeah, he's on the ropes. Wait, he gets hit, and he comes right out. Bye-bye.
Boom.
Yeah, that combination.
Combination, yeah.
And
no, you're right. You're right, Charles. And Frampton's a guy that I've been watching since the beginning of his career. I look at Leo, and he's one of my favorite fighters. Yeah, he's one of my favorite fighters. Frampton is always there to fight, and his fight with demeanor ought to be one we ought to watch too. That was a hell of a fight someday. But he's the kind of guy that after fights, he if he knows his fans are over at a bar, you know, wherever in Belfast, he'll go to the bar and join them for a few and throw back a few. I mean, I like that. I like that he's not totally wrapped up in himself, and he's a good guy. So both of these guys are great as far as that goes. People, and they're very representative of what is good about boxing as far as sportsmanship. And again, that's the reason we have this rematch so quick.
Right.
Is because of these two guys. Because you said it, Frank. Frampton could have said, that guy's too good. I'm going to fight 2 or 3 other guys, then I'll come back to Leo. Boom. They're right back in the ring fighting, and as fans, we're very rewarded with what we see here.
Well, we see happen often after the fight when they stick the microphone in the guy's face and he doesn't know what to say, and there are 2 ways you can go about it. One, they usually say, well, I'm good, or they call everybody out. I want this guy, I want that guy, blah, 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 blah. Or the ones that have any sense go, that's up to this guy, the manager, let him decide. These guys are both like, I'll fight him again. Sure.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with that. And it was sincere. And that's partly because of what happened in the ring, and as we progress through the fight, the respect they have for each other as well. They're out there to try and take each other's heads off, but if someone goes a little low, it's like, sorry about that. You know, they're touching gloves. This is really what we like about boxing. And it's a little, there we go.
No doubt. Plus, 2, I think, as we were seeing here in this 4th round, each round has been filled with action. And that's what you want in boxing. You want to, even if it's a counter punch, if somebody's come back with right hooks, I'm going to exchange these great exchanges right here in the 4th round.
Yep.
This is what you want. This is what boxing's all about.
Yep, and what you said, Frank, too, Gotti and Ward always did that after their first fight. Hey, I'd like to fight him again. Okay. You know, we can fight again. So it was like that. It was up to them. And so they were back in the ring a number of months later. So they did it. They didn't play any games with it. And just like these guys, okay, yeah, I want to fight you again. Okay, we'll fight again. You know, first time was in Brooklyn. This time was in Vegas. We'll fight again. I think he wanted to fight a 3rd time, and unfortunately it didn't happen. Right. I think Frampton wanted it, obviously, after losing, but they went different ways.
Little slip.
Yeah, he lost his balance. But these guys are, like we've been talking about for months, is no matter when these guys would fight each other, if it was now or 10 years from now, it's always going to be like this. Very competitive, hard to judge, smaller man, at times forcing the action, and then Leo forcing the Santa Cruz forcing the action at times too, just back and forth. And you'd almost have to, I would think if I was judging this, I'd almost have to do it minute at a time. You know, who won the first minute, who won the second minute, who won the third minute. Because it's that close between these two guys.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and just to see, like I said, that in the first fight, you saw when Frampton was coming forward, he was able to whoop, and Santa Cruz had trouble coming back, but Santa Cruz was like, nah, buddy, not this time. Yeah, nah. You throw some, I'm definitely coming right back at you. And I think that's why he was able to win some rounds in the first fight. But here it's like, we're going to exchange and may the best man win, which made this one hell of a fight again because of all of the action that we were seeing even in these first 5 rounds. And as you mentioned earlier, John, the referee didn't have to do much. He just letting them work. And that's when fights are best.
Yeah.
The thing I notice about Santa Cruz in this fight is that he fights well when he's not getting hit. But he fights even better when he's getting hit. So when Frampton comes at him, you notice as soon as Frampton throws, Santa Cruz has to throw back. It's not want to throw back, not thinking about throwing back. It's his reaction of, I have to be able to respond to whatever he does. So as soon as he gets in tight or as soon as he starts to land something or tries to land something, I've got to throw something back. And there are some counterpunchers that don't counterpunch all the time. But like then, okay, here he comes, I got to throw again. It's a natural reaction. As soon as Frampton throws, Santa Cruz throws right back with something.
Yeah, and that's how he's always been, Frank. He's always been an action guy as far as that guy. Yeah, he can be a counter puncher, but he also likes to lead. He throws that jab. That jab sets up everything for him, and he's always forcing the action. You see pretty much always, unless Frampton turned the tables on a little bit in the last round, but he's always coming forward. He's throwing punches. There's one of the few clinches we've seen in this fight in 5 rounds.
And
They're working on the inside. Yeah, see, they're working. Referee didn't have to do anything. They worked their way out. They were work your way out, and they did. They worked their way out throwing punches. So 2 different styles, but a lot of thinking going on in there too. This is there's the mental part of the game and the crafty part, obviously, and then the mental part where you're thinking, okay, he thinks he's got me. Ooh, he got hit with that one. Yeah. He thinks he's got me figured out. But yep, he's nailing them there. And that was good, and that was a good ending for that round. Obviously, that round for sure Santa Cruz won, but again, this is just a delight to watch these 2 guys go at it. Even if you didn't like either one of them, or you liked both of them, you gotta like them both, because this is what boxing is.
Yeah,
it's an action chess match,
right? And I think that's where you enjoy, because let's say, for instance, you mentioned earlier that I'm a fan of Santa Cruz, but you enjoy watching him work against a quality talent like this guy Frampton, right? When you see him, so when he does do good work, you appreciate it because of the caliber of the talent he faces. And Frank, to your point, I think you're right on it. I think maybe this is something that they had to talk in the camp. Maybe I wasn't a spy on the wall, but I think coming into this fight, one of the things they probably said to Santa Cruz, you have to be more busier. If you want to win this fight, you can't sit back and wait on him. Even though you're an action guy, you have to respond and let them know you're giving him the business as well.
Yeah, and as you just saw real quick, Frank, Santa Cruz is really digging some hooks to the body.
Mm-hmm.
He's throwing that left hook to the body to Frampton. Frampton's feeling it. It's right to the liver, and that he's probably thrown about a half a dozen of those now. So he didn't do that as much in the first 5 rounds. So somebody said to him, there he goes again. Somebody said something to him, or someone said, look, we'll even slow him up. There it is. We'll even slow him down a little more. You just keep going to the body. That'll slow him down. And Santa Cruz tends to come on as the fight goes on. Ooh, they both traded there. There you go. So, yeah, this fight, it heats up as it goes.
Yeah, it does. Santa Cruz trying to shake that right hand.
He always does that. That's some kind of habit. Yeah, some kind of habit, Charles. I don't know what it is. And I think I heard somebody ask him, do you know you do that? And he said no. So it's like Michael Jordan was sticking his tongue out, when he would be driving to the hoop. Something that he's just always done, and he's not even aware he's doing it. Right. So, yeah, it was just one of those deals. It doesn't hurt him, though. He keeps doing it. And it's
still punching, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make him. It's not like you can time it where he shakes it and he goes, "Oh, that's a sign he's gonna throw a right hand." It's not like that at all. It's just some kind of little twitch or something. I don't know.
It's like he's warming up to put those hammers on you.
Just a little quirk.
Yeah, it is. But and see, that's why when we talk about this too. I mean, I know we're gonna talk later on about the fight with Devontae Davis, but it's these little things like this, man, that the boxing IQ that I think he's gonna have a great opportunity in that match. But here it's just like, okay, I understand what's going on. I'm fighting a great champion, but here I am. Boom, boom. He's moving, dodging, but I'm coming forward, and those are going to get me points.
I like the way at every round he just kind of walks up like, that was fun. Can we have another one of those?
Yeah, he smiles. Yeah. And that's the kind of guy he is, Frank. If you ever talk to him or whatever, he's that kind of guy. He's a very affable guy. No real ego that I've ever seen. He lives over in Rosemead, where my grandparents lived for 30 years, and he's just a nice kid. He doesn't badmouth anybody. I said it's very refreshing. Frampton is the same. So it made a battle of nice guys, but they're definitely battling, and that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's where it comes off, and that's what makes you want to root for a guy, right? For a boxer, because they're doing good things, they're not bad people, and they can fight.
Oh yeah.
And you want to see, look at the combination that Frampton drops on him. Santa Cruz, like, okay, I'm gonna stay here with you, and for every dig you give, I'm gonna give you 2 more. Woo, woo,
Right
woo,
back,
Yeah.
right back. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and
That's
that
like 4 punches to 1 he just landed on Frampton, and he's been doing that the last few rounds. He's, in a sense, from what I'm seeing, and I hadn't seen this since I first watched it, he takes over in the middle rounds a little bit just by throwing more punches. Frampton's landing occasionally, but Santa Cruz is kind of controlling the rounds more now than earlier. Close though, very close.
yeah, and it has to be where you think about Frampton's thinking to himself, "Damn, I'm usually the busier guy. What the hell is he doing?"
Right. What happened to the last time? Right.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see where there's some issues with Frampton's left eye, right? And Santa Cruz is kind of waiting. Okay, I know you're coming, but here I'm waiting. I'm gonna still be busy. And that moving forward, I think helped him in this fight, staying aggressive. Round 7. Ooh, nice little double tap jab by Santa Cruz.
Yeah, he loves his jab. That's so basic, but people forget about how important the jab is, and he uses it like a master. He's always throwing that left out, and it sets up everything for him. And Frampton, it's kind of tough though because he's a shorter guy and he's got shorter arms, so he's got to get inside more to land, maybe take more chances because get closer, and he knows he's going to get clipped back. But obviously, no fear. He's holding that left low. He's trying to catch Santa Cruz with the right hand, and he kind of did. And here comes Leo, just bam, 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 opening up on him.
Frampton's getting out of the way. The one thing that I've noticed with Frampton that he does on occasion is when he gets in tight and throws a little something, sometimes he's leaving himself open. For the most part, he's been quick enough to get his head out of the way. Now, like that little flurry at the end of that round. But like there, he throws that overhand right, and does he come back with it, or is he out of the way? That's where I think Santa Cruz went to school. Like, I see a couple of openings now that I didn't see in the first round, in the first fight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, plus 2, you mentioned about our lovely C word, where crafty, where you can tell the movement of Santa Cruz now is different. Because now he's able to elude some of those shots, I think, that previously Frampton was putting on him. Because while Frampton's busy, you can see Santa Cruz putting gloves up, going, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to get some boop, boop, and I'm coming right back at you. And he's countering quite well. Round 8.
Round 8, yeah. And that's very true, Charles. And he obviously going the first fight, he learned a lot. And then, so he had a plan coming in, and he's executing. And Frampton also, I'm sure he wasn't overconfident coming into the second fight because he barely won first fight. I mean, he won, but I agree with you, Charles. I thought he won, but it wasn't like it was a blowout. It was close. The rounds were very competitive. He just was facing a guy who upped his game in this one.
Right.
And that happens in sports. You know that. That happens sometimes in basketball. That happens in baseball. You beat a team, and then you face them a week later, and suddenly they're more motivated, they're more on, and this was Leo's night, and he wasn't dominating, but he was just doing more and understanding what Frampton was doing and capitalizing on it.
Well, when you mentioned being crafty, here's something that I think I've noticed is at this particular point right here, Frampton's able to get inside, but Santa Cruz is comfortable with that. There's no panic. There's not, he's going to throw some uppercuts. He's going to throw some hooks to the body. Cool. He's not going to land anything big. Even having the smaller guy enveloped inside you, he's still like, okay, cool. You're not going to hurt me. Whereas that's where some taller guys are like, I got to back him off. He's like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, and again, you can see right now in this round 8, you saw where Frampton's throwing and he's missing. I mean, you're like, wow. And that's something I'm sure that is a little puzzling to him because he's used to landing those punches.
Right. Double jab again. Back him up a little.
Yeah, this is a boxing flurrying chess match, Frank, like you said earlier, and that's what it is. And Leo Santa Cruz seems to just have a little bit more going, but they're both such good fighters. I mean, they don't get caught with very many punches. It's not like that. They both have really strong technique, very determined, like I said. So I've already broken the record here for it, but judging it is tough because just that they're just so competitive with each other, even though their styles are pretty much different. You got to watch real close because there's more going on. You might miss something, and so you really got to watch that word again. I'm going to say cleverness by both of them because they're doing little things that you might miss if you look away for a second, and it's very apparent here.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. This is one of those fights where you could have it 5-4 right now, or actually it's the ninth, so 4-all. You could have it 6-2 either way. You know, it just depends on what you're looking at. It's that close that it could swing either way at this point, or it could be even. You know, I have Santa Cruz ahead just because I think he's won more rounds, but he hasn't won them by that much.
No.
So I'm not really keeping track of it right now, but I could see it being 6-2 Santa Cruz, or I could see it being 5-3 Frampton. It's altogether possible, depending upon what you're looking for.
Yeah, and you can see too where, as John, you mentioned, if you watch closely, you can see some of the feints, and you can see how they're making the moves to avoid some of the punches that are being thrown. And it's like, okay, I'm feinting. Here we go. I'm going up top. Santa Cruz is like, okay, I see you coming. You're touching my gloves. I'm waiting on you. Here you come. And now I'm going to go and catch you on the side with a right hook, something that you really weren't expecting because you could tell it was flush, and his gloves weren't up. We're talking about Frampton. Adjustments on the fly, buddy. I love this. This is, wow, bang, right hand. Adjustments on the fly. And if does that work, will I come back with that, or I try something different?
Yeah. Yeah, both of them. They're both trying to outsmart each other too, which is out-adjust each other, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And it's hard to hit. Both of them, it's hard to hit each other because they're both that good defensively too. So Frampton's been throwing that right hand. He's hit Leo Santa Cruz a few times with it, but see that little inside action. Santa Cruz seems to get the better of it when they're closer, but then Frampton comes back. I mean, you got champion's pride here too. What you said earlier, Frank, about Santa Cruz always comes back when he gets hit or whatever. I mean, that's a champion. That's what they always do. They're like, oh, you actually have the gall to hit me. I'm coming right back at you.
Right.
You know, they're just coming back. It's like that's champions of that. I mean,
finish
look at
the round strong. There you go. There we go. Here's what okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, guys. Here's what I'm thinking. If you're watching this fight there, this isn't a get up on your feet, yell and scream, all right kind of fight, even if you're the dudes coming up from Belfast and you're having a great time. But it's the fight where you're watching it where you keep edging closer off your seat just to take a closer look. You know, we re-released the Hagler-Hearns fight a couple weeks ago where that was just nonstop mayhem, which is great, fantastic. But this is more of a thinking man's action pummeling. You know, it's like, okay, we're good, all right. But it's still a good, hell of a fight. It's just not one of those scream your head off fights because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. You can watch these guys and you can figure that they're figuring what's going on.
Wow, you're right. I agree with that in regards to the changes have been made all the way up into this 10th round.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to get the upper hand because as you see Santa Cruz coming forward, you probably had to think in the back of his mind, like, I can't leave this to the judges this time.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I got to stay busy.
And to John's,
I think part of it too is that neither of them are really big punchers. So when you watch Hagler and Hearns, they're both pretty good. Well, obviously Hearns was a massive puncher, and he even staggered Hagler. That never happened. So there was, and then they just went after each other. Right, mayhem is the right word, Frank. This fight, they both punch hard and they're sharp, but they can't really. Might buzz each other a little bit, so that makes it. Yeah, that's a different kind of excitement. See, like this. This is trading back and forth.
Yeah.
But while they're doing it, they're fainting. Like Charles said, there's an art to this more than just the insanity of just throwing bombs at each other. And it's like, oh, okay, he knows the right's coming. Maybe I better go to the body like Santa Cruz was doing for a while. Now he's trying to throw the right over the top. So yeah, I think that's part of it, but it doesn't take anything away from the fight that they're not big punchers.
Oh, not at all.
This is an action fight all the way through, and total high level of talent.
Yeah, what makes it? But one thing I like about this fight too is the factor that when we mentioned that both of them may not be power punchers, if they were facing other talent, somebody would be gone by now.
True.
So
good point.
and sometimes based this volume, not so much the power as you rock Santa Cruz with the right hand, not so much the power, but sometimes volume can help a fighter get knocked out and get a knockout with the number of punches that they've landed. And somebody probably could have been going on, which made this a great fight.
Well, and to carry that point a step further, if you don't mind, it also would have been against another fighter, a lesser fighter. They'd have landed more telling blows as well. You know, there's a lot of great defense going on in this fight that gets overlooked in most fights because you're not paying attention. So somebody else, they'd have landed more punches and an accumulation of punches. That other person would have probably been gone 4 or 5 rounds ago. Right, good point.
Yeah, and the conditioning. I mean, look at this. This is round 11. Look at these guys. To the body, to the head, look at those. That's 3 left hooks. And now Frampton says, oh, okay, I can throw body shots too. I can do that. So, I mean, you're talking, I would think that if you were fighting a guy like this, if you're Leo or Carl Frampton, think, man, I got to be in great shape because I know he's going to be in great shape.
Right.
And they are. They're both in great shape. And again, that's just something else that people, for whatever reason, take for granted. This is incredible conditioning to be able to go at this pace through 11 rounds.
That's true. And like you said, Kenny Bayless is like just watching and
free check.
Them. Yeah, well, but he's paying attention, and that's what you want.
Right.
I mean, you want a guy to let these guys do their thing, let them brawl, let them throw those hands, and making sure that you keep them safe when needed.
Right.
Don't bust your head, don't bang up against that guy's head. Okay, all right, let him go. All right, here we go.
Yeah, then I'm backing off. He's like the hall monitor, he's just staying away.
Bus control.
Look, all right, Leo, don't get too close now.
Watch those heads.
Who's chewing gum over there?
Yeah, so and that's what I love about that. Yeah, that's what you love about a referee like that, because he's letting the talent be the talent. He's letting their skills.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the fighters, not the referee. So stay out of the way. Unless you're forced to, I'm sorry, Charles, to do something, he's staying away. He's like, I don't have to do anything. Unless they get tangled, I'm just letting them do their thing, and that's what they're doing.
And then, even though we talked to our friend, Mr. Doc, says they're focused on the fight, you can't tell me he's thinking, damn, this is a great fight.
Oh, yeah.
As he's watching back, Kenny Bayless is like, man, these boys are banging. I don't have to even do too much. But this is,
I got a great ticket for this one, right?
Yeah, this is a great fight. Wow.
End of the round, they start. This is Frampton's MO. End of the round, he starts trying to go to the head a little bit more, throwing some more hooks, and Santa Cruz like, not having it.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, Frampton is fighting like a guy who feels like he's behind. That's the sense I'm getting.
And this is impressive. The end of the last round and the beginning of this round. Okay, respect for each other. End of the 11th, they touch gloves and they come out with a hug. We'll start this one. Like, okay, cool, let's go.
There.
Right, let's go. Yeah.
You don't see that often.
No.
And I'm gonna hug you now because I hope you're not standing at the end of this round.
Right. That's the idea. And it's like, and I'm not taking that personal if you're feeling that way, because I'm trying to do the same thing to you. So.
Yeah, you can see now too. There's a sense of urgency for Frampton.
Yeah, he's fighting like he thinks he's behind.
Mm-hmm. Santa Cruz is like, though, but you know what? It's not the last fight, buddy.
Body shots.
Right. Yeah.
It's not the last fight. I'm still here. Come on. I'm waiting on you. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna let you beat me down.
And I'm not gonna get my bicycle and dance. This isn't how I do things. So if you're gonna bring it, I'm gonna return fire.
Yeah, it's like he said, no, you're not going to take the play away. Yeah, you can throw some punches, but I'm throwing, and he always does. That was the thing that was kind of surprising about the first fight. But he's like, okay, you good? You threw 3. Look at this. He said, yeah, you threw 3 or 4. I'm coming right back at you with 3 or 4. So don't think you're taking the play away from me. I'm right here, man.
Yeah, those counters inside.
Ooh,
boom.
That one hurt.
Yeah, boom. Yeah.
That left hook to the body, I think Frampton felt that one for sure.
Yeah. And then he follows up with that left hand, and now he's back on him. Frampton has to be going, you didn't do that the first fight.
Right.
Not this consistently, he didn't, for sure.
Exactly. And Santa Cruz is saying to himself, I told you. I want that belt.
Right. You have what's mine. Exactly. Right. You have what's mine.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's busy. He's very busy.
Well,
you can see some more determination in his eyes. Like you said, a sense of I have to get this done.
Yeah. I don't know for sure. I didn't look at this before we did this, but I don't know if it's Leo Santa Cruz has even been knocked down in his career. I think maybe once, but I can't remember. I know Frampton has, but he's got a good chin, obviously, and he takes these punches and he doesn't even react. I think in the first fight, if I remember early, he actually got wobbled a little bit, which was a real shocker of the first or second round.
Well,
but never again. Yeah, never again. So he's got a solid chin, no doubt about it.
He's so much stronger than he looks.
Yeah. Look at this.
And that's how you end the fight beautifully.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep, that's it.
Combination. This guy hit the hooks.
Yep. All right.
Look at the fans going on.
Yeah,
fans look crazy.
Yeah, that was really special.
And respect for everyone all around. It's like
respect.
We did it. We did it. What did we do? Let's find out. And this is a team, so. And you can, we won't spoil it because, we won't. But there's the final scores right there, 115, 113, 115, 113, 114, 114. So it comes out, there we go.
Yeah.
To me,
7
it
rounds
was just
to 5.
Yeah.
Right? 7 rounds to 5. That seems fair to me from watching it again. That was.
I think the telling thing at the end was Frampton knew he didn't win. He
said that after.
Yeah, he knew he didn't win, but he knew he gave it his all. He just didn't have it that day. So the aftermath of that was, as you said, they wanted to do a third one, and they just weren't able to pull it off, and both of them regret that to this day.
Yes.
Both of them regret that to this day. So, and I don't know if they're, because of the way things have shifted, I don't know if we can come back to that. When we start talking about these weights, in this weight classes, for some odd reason, and we've done it as well, we don't mention Frampton anymore. He's not really in the discussion as much as you would think he would be, because he only lost one fight to this guy.
And he lost to Warrington too.
Well, but I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
he's going to fight for a title again, Frank. He's going to fight the Jamal Herring probably in January.
Oh, wow.
So maybe they could fight again. I mean, depending on what Santa Cruz does with Davis, and I know we want to talk about that. But they're getting older now, 33, I think Frampton is, and Santa Cruz is 32. But if I remember correctly real fast, I think Frampton wanted Santa Cruz to come to England and fight. Because he said, look, I fought him in Brooklyn. I fought him in Vegas. You come over to my area now and we'll fight. And I think I remember Frampton saying he said he would, and then it surprisingly never happened. Because I'm surprised. If he said that, I'd have thought he'd have done it, because that's the way kind of guy he is.
Well, to tell you the truth, I think if they could have cleared the ring and had the rematch after this, they would have done it. Like, okay, I got, make it 7 rounds. So I got 7 more in me. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. For sure.
Now, I can see that too. I mean, the part of it is though, as we're looking at it now, you have to say maybe Santa Cruz is going in a different direction because they have bigger fish
Good
to
point.
fry.
Good point.
Yeah. So if you have Frampton, it's cool. Okay, I would love to fight you a third time, but I beat you already. So when they're calling out these names, Javante Davis, some other guys that I might have a shot to really bang with and make money too. Yeah, we might look at going towards that way as well. So I think that's a good thing. So, but not to say we might not see it again, but saying Santa Cruz is thinking about the big money, baby.
Well, and you're right. He's now the name. So does he have to take a step back? Because in reality, I mean, even though he lost the first one, he didn't get blown out in the first one. So he gets eked out, if you want to call it that, even though the score's a little bit more larger. Now he comes to this fight, he gets that fight. Now he moves on. So now, like I said, we're looking at Tank Davis. We're looking at a couple other things for him to pull off. You know, it's still a loaded division. So as you said, why go back if you don't have to?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was going to fight Gary Russell Jr. Remember, we were going. Ooh, we really wanted to see that. I see Charles down there going, "Oh yeah, I wanted to see that one."
We're gonna find out, Gary. Look. Yeah. You mess
Gary,
around with Mr. Takeoff, and you want now, you might get another taste.
Yes, exactly, Gary. Yeah, Gary's talking about Haney, right? So that's too bad that fight didn't happen, and now Leo's moving up to fight Tank, right, at 135. Which is quite a big jump for a guy, but I'm with Charles here. You know, I'm going to blow it here a little bit. I know we're going to talk more about it as it gets closer, but Leo Santa Cruz has more than just a chance against Tank Davis. He can box.
Yeah.
He can box. That's the thing that if you didn't know that much about him and you watch that fight, he is a good fighter as far as being a boxer too. He knows all the ins and outs. He's crafty again. He's smart. He's going to have a game plan against Davis. And one of them, I'm sure, is don't get on the ropes and let him pound on me because this guy can really punch.
Right.
So he's going to be using this a lot when he fights Davis.
One thing that I think will happen, and I might be wrong about this, but I think he's going to come in stronger, a little bit more beefier, a little bit more tougher at 135. I'm not saying he's having problems making weights at this fight, but he looks like he should be fighting at a bigger weight. Even though he seems to be natural fighting at lower weights, I think he could beef up a little bit at 135 because he's got that kind of that height and that frame that might, put that kind of extra weight on, and that'll help him out, I think, and without losing much, I don't think.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think you're right on point there. But the other thing I think too is, what Tank Davis are we gonna see? You know what I mean? I mean, Javante Davis, because he's been known to be overweight a little bit. Sometimes he doesn't give he didn't have the best approach to the fight. He's not always sharp.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that if he comes in just by a little hair off, those are some things that Santa Cruz can take advantage of. And that's why, to me, I throw it up in the air to say, hey, I think he got a hell of a shot. Yeah. He also could be exposed a little bit because of the power. But, hey, and I can see why he's pumped up about it and why he jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah, because Davis didn't look very impressive in his last fight. Mm-hmm. And, again, you're right. If he isn't serious about this, if he's just going, I can just hit him once and I'll knock him out. If he's not preparing, because Leo Santa Cruz is going to be in, again, fantastic shape.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have to be busier than Davis to beat him. And I think he can do it. I do. Davis doesn't throw a lot of punches. He's just a power puncher. He'll be moving forward. Leo Santa Cruz be using his jab. And he's going to have to fight a great fight to beat him. But can he do it? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the thing about facing a power puncher, especially the way we just saw Santa Cruz fight, power only works if you get hit.
Right.
And if he fights the way that I think he's going to fight this fight, he's not going to hit him a lot. Now, he may get hit with a shot, and we'll see what kind of chin he really has. But I would assume that he's going to work on not getting hit much at all. And as we saw in this fight, when Davis throws that big bomb and it doesn't hit, he's going to come back at him. So we're going to see. I think we're going to see him, Santa Cruz, pile up a lot of rounds early, and then we'll see. Like you said, is Davis in shape? Is he ready to go? Is he ready to go into deep waters? Which, he may or may not be ready to do. If he's not, it could be a nice night for Santa Cruz.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. And I think that's a really good point, Frank. And he's a smart fighter, Leo Santa Cruz. So he's definitely going to be ready for, I think, whatever Davis brings. And Charles, I mean, I know how much you like Leo. I'm sure you agree with me that he's definitely going to have a plan going in there to take that power advantage away from Davis and exploit him in a sense. Just if he's busy like he always is, Davis is going to be on the defensive. He can, just like we said, he could just do like he did here, just outwork him. Can he do it for 12 rounds? Hell yes, he can do it for 12 rounds. He just did it with Carl Frampton for 12 rounds.
Right.
So he can do it. So it's just, again, it's Davis. You're right, Frank. I think he's going to hit Leo Santa Cruz with some punches. But that's why I said something about his chin. Is he apparently so far he's been able to be resilient against punches. I think I read that he's been sparring with 140 pounders, Leo Santa Cruz, to get used to the different. Right, it makes sense. So we'll see. That's a week after Lomachenko and Lopez. Yep. So that we got 2 in a row that are really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, be awesome. The other part too is we've known that Gervonta Davis has been dealing with some outside the ring issues, and my question is, what is he going to be thinking about mentally? Is he going to be mentally stable to come in and take that on? Or is he going to use that as fuel to go, you know what, I've been having a rough year. I'm going to come in and I'm going to put this on him. So that's the other thing. But I can tell you from what we've seen from Leo Santa Cruz that he's going to be ready. I mean, he had some stuff going on. People were attacking his family, all kinds of stuff. But you put him in that ring, I'm looking forward to this fight because I think it's going to find out. It's going to either prove to us one or two things. It's going to prove, is Davis really that guy that we think he is? Okay, he's got a lot of love, and now you're fighting a guy that's really skilled, and is he ready to go to the next level? They all are looking for the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather right in that camp. So is that going to be the case with Davis now? And we're going to find that out. And if not, then Santa Cruz is like, I told you. And I hope if he does defeat Davis, that he goes, hey, Russell, you were talking all that stuff. Let's get this now.
All right, so here's where I think we stand. All right, and we'll worry about that. And actually, let's give it a set. Let's wrap up the fight we just saw first. John, wrap up what we just saw first, and we'll get to the next part.
Well, again, it was what boxing is to me. I can't help being the old guy in the group here. The three of us, I've seen a lot of fights, and their two fights were just what it's supposed to be. Two highly skilled, competitive guys, respectful of each other, talented, giving it all. And that would I don't know. It was Charles or you, Frank, who said Frampton. He knew he lost, but he couldn't really have any. He's disappointed, but he gave it everything he had that night. He just didn't have it exactly, and that happens in life. That happens in sports. You're like, God, I was a little off, but the other guy was also a little better that night.
Right, that night.
So, like we were saying, Santa Cruz was, man, he was so focused. He wanted the belt, like Charles said. He wanted revenge, and he did what we say in other sports. He went out and got it. And that's what he did. He beat the champion to get the belt back. And yeah, close, competitive, but nobody complained about that decision. So that I think also is revealing. As close as it was, you didn't hear anybody from Frampton's group. I don't remember anybody in social media, and everybody has an opinion on social media going, oh, Frampton got robbed or whatever. It was close, but Leo Santa Cruz won that fight.
Yeah. I got you on that. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. The other thing, too, that I liked about this fight is from the start, if you didn't know their names, if you just said, I'm turning this on for the first time, watching these guys, damn, they're battling. Even if you didn't know the back end story, who won the first one or who lost the first one, you just see two guys competing, going after one another, and being classy about it, but also being very entertaining and giving you what you're looking for. That action is what we want in boxing. We don't want a snooze fest. We like knockouts, but if you got two guys that are equally talented, going after one another and being calculated, that's what boxing to me is all about. That's why it's called the sweet science. So when you see that, that's what I think this second fight between these two guys clearly was. We talk about the winner and the loser, but this is a fight you can sit back and go, damn, where's my popcorn? Can I put this on pause till I get back? Because it's not too many great action-packed fights like that where it doesn't have to even lead to a knockout for it to be a good fight.
And the great thing, you both handle it perfectly. The great thing about it was, as Charles said, it doesn't matter the names, it mattered about the games. And that's what it was. They were both two solid fighters, still both two solid fighters. Well, I'm going to wrap it up this way, guys, because this to me is very important. We mentioned this off the air. We've had a great time doing the legendary fights and the fights of the year and blah, 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 this and the Ring Magazine, that and all that. We have fights coming on now. So not that this format is a bad thing. Not at all. We're going to continue to do this when we're able to. But we're going back to talking about fights that are going on. So this time next week, we're going to be talking about the Charlos coming back. And we're going to keep progressing from that. So I've enjoyed doing this. It's been great. Don't get me wrong. As Charles said and John has said, I don't remember this fight watching it when I was a young person, or I may not have seen this fight at all. And it's always nice to go back and look at things, especially this one. This is a fantastic fight. But what we make our bones on is watching things that's coming up. What's going on? Giving you guys an idea of what we like, what we don't like, what you should see, what you might not see, what you might like, what you might not like. Everybody has an opinion, which is great, and that's what we're trying to solicit from you. We want your opinions as well. So if you're watching this part, get back to us, and I'll include a link in this to send it to contact@ultimatesportsnetworks.com. What would you like us to talk about the Charlos coming up next week? Or go to Twitter at 1USN. Find out what we want to find out what you think about what's coming up, and we'll comment on that as well. So, in closing, this was a great fight. I think it was fantastic. I think that we've mined these very well, and we've talked about things off air that we can even do more things if we can find the footage of it, and it's great. But I'm getting excited to talk about what's going on, what's going to happen here pretty soon. So, gentlemen, any final thoughts? John?
Well, I'm just excited. We were talking about it off air again. Next week, I'm excited that we're going to be talking about the present day. I obviously love the old times. That's how I got into boxing. It was both. It was a mixture of the old and the new, and that's what we've been doing on this show. We've been celebrating the great old fights, older fighters, old fights. But then again, we got to get in the present, and that's what's coming up. We got some good stuff coming up. I don't care if it's in the bubble or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be really talented fighters, and you can't help it if you're a boxing fan to be really excited, and not just the Charlo, Lomo, and Lopez, and then Leo, like we said, and Davis, and then after that probably Wilder sometime in December, and we got Danny Garcia and Errol Spence. So we got some really, really good fights coming up, and then Wilder and Fury 3 is looking tentative. We got Dillian White fighting a rematch against Povetkin in November. That ought to be a lot of fun. So we just got some great stuff to talk about, guys. So I can't wait.
Mr. Farmer, take us home.
Yes, no doubt. So we appreciate you watching. Definitely excited about these new fights coming up, because a lot of times people have not seen these fighters, or really don't have the perspective that we're going to give you. So this is the place to be. You really want to find out about it. You know, we might not be the zone, we may not be somebody else, but I guarantee you afterwards you're going to say, damn, they knew a little something. And at the end of the day, that's all you want, right? That's all you want. When you think about it, that's all you want. So we appreciate you checking us out here on Real Boxing Talk. And till the next time, my friend, stay thirsty.
Yeah.
Peace.